Good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Today is Friday, it's just before 7 a.m. and today we're doing a smaller job. It's a bathroom vent installation. So I thought I'd bring you guys along, walk you guys through the process if you're an avid DIYer or you're a homeowner. And that way maybe you can do the job yourself and save a few dollars. So we're gonna go load up the trailer. The job is just down the street from us, so it's not far at all. Let's do it. Another beautiful day at the trailer. Really coming into fall season now. With fall season comes a slowdown of our bigger projects, you know, all of our re-roofs and things like that. So we try to fill our time with as many repair jobs as possible during the colder months. So that's what we're off to do today. Now, thankfully, one, it's Friday, and two, this job is just down the road from us. So it's one of our, I guess, what do you want to call it, local residents or something like that. So, ooh, almost right on the money. Man, today is a beautiful day. We had the Aurora Borealis, well, the Northern Lights, pop up last night. So Hannah and I were out watching those till pretty late. It was really cool. I mean, here in Southern Ontario, we don't get to see them very often. But for some reason this year we've seen them twice. That has something to do with the, I think it has something to do with the solar eclipse that we had earlier on in the year or something like that. I don't know, I'm not a meteorologist or scientist or anything like that, but I don't know, it's really cool to see. That's always been a bucket list item for me to see those, and I always thought I would have to go pretty far up north. But it's pretty cool to see them in your own backyard. All right, so we pretty well got everything. We're a bit early. The job site's only 6 minutes away. So I don't know what we're gonna do in the meantime. I think I'm just gonna have some sips on my coffee and maybe talk to the camera and see what ends up making it into the final video. I did want to thank you guys. I don't know if I said this on camera, because I know I did make a post about it on YouTube, but we passed 500 subscribers. We're currently sitting at 555. Kind of weird, but yeah, that's super cool. And I wanted to thank you, all you guys, I guess in person or through video. If I haven't already, thank you guys a lot for the people who have subscribed and who like the videos and comment and stuff like that. It's really cool to Hannah and I, and we love making the videos. We just ordered a new GoPro, so that'll be on the way. I think that gets here Saturday, and we have a new project starting next Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So, okay, so we're gonna get on the road. Like I said, the job is only about 6 minutes away, so we'll be there in the blink of an eye for you guys. All right, cue the timer. Just pulling up to the job site. We're gonna go and unpack the trailer, get everything we need out, and get started on this vent install. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Bad yourself?
Not bad.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Matt.
Alex.
So this is her, yeah?
Yeah.
Right on.
Saved a trip into the attic.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, you should be able to just grab it. You'll see the flex duct there. I just use insulated flex ducts. So
yeah, no, it's perfect. Yeah. So they're not coming out wondering who's on the roof.
Santa Claus coming out. Yeah. Taxes on.
Sure, sounds good, man. Okay, so let's go take a look at our screw. So there she be. This is where we are putting our vent. Oh, look at that. We got a nail right in our keyway. That's not good. All right guys, so we're gonna be showing you how we can put one of these vents in. So the first thing you're going to need, I guess we'll give you a brief outline of some of the tools. So a trowel is really good for trying to get underneath the shingle. And need some kind of pry bar to try and lift some of the nails. You're going to need a saw to cut our hole for our vent. In our case, we have insulated flex pipe for the bathroom vent, so we're going to need tuck tape to fasten that to our collar. You're going to need some nails, or what I personally recommend is just some roofing screws. Depending on the age of the roof, it's going to be more risky to lift these shingles trying to nail in behind the vent than just placing the vent in and then screwing the front of it with roofing screws. That's going to stop any kind of lift over the years, and it's also, you're not risking trying to lift these shingles and nail around the vent, you know, in these holes here, because as these shingles age, they get more and more brittle and they're harder to work with. So what I typically prefer to do is just screw the bottom of the vent here, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. So kind of the first thing we're going to do is separate some of these shingles. The reason I recommend a trowel is because it's flat and it's sharp, so you have less risk of tearing the shingle. So I think what we're going to do is put the bottom of the vent on this shingle here, so right here. So we're going to need to lift this shingle as well, and so what we're going to do, we're going to notch out a little bit on this second shingle and then cut our residual lines there. So we're just going to have to lift this one as well. So just the two shingles, just have to lift the two shingles. This is the tricky part, and you have to be careful because you really don't want to rip these shingles. So you just take your time, work it in there, and sometimes you can't. You know, it's just too difficult, and the shingles are just fused together, and you end up causing more damage than good. In this case, we can still work with these, so it's good. There we go. So we got two lifted, and we're going to take our vent again, kind of give it a false outline of where, temporary outline where we want it. So we're going to be cutting, what I'll do typically, I'll center it on this screw, and then I'll come place it like so, and then we want to kind of mark a rough, I'm just going to move it over a titch, so I'm cutting through a single. I'm just going to cut it tight right now, and then I can make adjustments as needed if I need to, because we don't want to cut too much. That's what you do not want to do. So I'll be cutting this a little bit wider anyways. Yeah, so that'll have to come out a little bit wider. All right, so now we need to check our height. So I want this to be lap, so I need to cut out roughly about an inch and a half on this top shingle here. And then instead of cutting like this and then actually going too far, I tried to switch my knife around, and if I can, it's really hard when the shingles are cold like this. They just don't want to cut, and that's what happens is you're having trouble in one spot, and all of a sudden it goes, and then your knife goes, you know, 3 inches past where you wanted it. So when it's cold especially, you just gotta take your time. Okay, I've got to cut out this bottom shingle here. Just tar paper. Actually kind of surprised. And assuming it is a 4-inch by 4-inch pipe, let's take a couple quick measurements. Okay, so we'll start with that. We've got all these shingles lifted. We just need to make sure that we can slide our vent in here as needed. Okay, this is probably 3/8 plywood. Let's lock that in. So when you're cutting your hole, you're gonna have to extend the hole, or extend your saw blade into the shingle a little bit. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. We're gonna try to avoid doing it as much as possible up here. We're just gonna take our cat's paw, chip out these corners. Now we gotta look for some flex pipe. There she be. Beautiful. And that is perfect. Okay, drone is trying to self-land itself. So we're gonna take this over here and we're gonna pop this on the ground before it just tries to land on the roof. I'm gonna just blow off this area real quick. Okay, so our first step will be getting this flex pipe attached to the actual vent. So some people use hose clamps, some people will use duct tape, whatever works for you. I find this cold climate duct tape works really good for Southern Ontario. When installing this stuff, we just pull out the rigid part of the pipe and we stick that on our collar. And I like to, I don't know how well this is gonna pop up on the GoPro, but I'll try my best. That should be plenty. We just give that a little cut. I'm gonna take the insulated part of the pipe, because we live in Southern Ontario, so we got lots of cold winters here, so that's why you need insulated pipe, because this is going to be full of moisture pulling from the bathroom. So I'm going to take another round of tape after we pull this insulated section up, and we're just going to repeat process. So I leave a little bit of the collar showing so that my tape can stick to the collar itself. Okay, so now we got to get our vent slid underneath of these shingles. So I think in this case what we're going to do is, because I know these things separate, I'm going to separate these two because it's really tricky to get the actual vent. When you already had the flex pipe on, you need to get the flex pipe on and still maneuver the vent underneath the shingles, and that's pretty tricky to do with this attached. So what I'm going to do is actually separate these. I know these come separated because this is typically how we buy them. They come in two pieces. Yeah, so you can see they're just glued together. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we got to get our actual collar tucked underneath the shingle. So this has quite a bit more flex than what our actual vent has. There we go. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt to get that in, but you can do it. You can do it. So now I like to take my silicone before I move my vent in, and I'll actually seal around this collar, and that's going to make a nice, it's a little bit of extra weatherproofing, but it also is good to, it makes a nice airtight seal. So the vent is just going to be more efficient. It's not going to be trying to pull air from anywhere but the actual pipe. Put some of that on there, and we're just going to put a bead along the top, along the edges. Just like so. Press all of this down. Alright, so I can move forward with our screws. Because of the age of these shingles, it's too tricky to get these up far enough and actually nail the actual sides of the vent. And with it screwed along the bottom, you're not going to see any lifting. It's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to put a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here. So what we're going to do first is take silicone. We're just going to punch a little bit in there. punch a little bit in here, and some in the middle. So what this is going to do is, as I screw it, it's going to pull some of that silicone in the hole, and it's actually sealing underneath the vent as well, because water, I'll show you once I have these screws in. So what screws are going to do is they're going to prevent this vent, the nails from popping back up over the years. So this roof is about 10 years old. So over, you know, if they get another 10-15 years out of it, they'll avoid any kind of nail pops. And you know, as we looked at earlier when we first got here, they've already seen a decent amount of nail pops in the shingles. So this is going to prevent any of that from happening. So we got our silicone underneath our screws, and then we have a self-sealing washer on the screw itself to keep those nice and tight. And then we have a couple nail holes here. We're just going to fill some sealant, because now that we've lifted these shingles, these will never stick again on their own. So you have to put a little bit of sealant in there to make sure that they're not just going to lift up. Okay, but that is complete. That is finished. So we'll take a picture of that for the customer. Okay, so we just got off the phone with the customer, and I mentioned some of the nail pops, nail placement and their keyways, things like that. And we mentioned the dirty trough. So since I'm already here, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to clean out the trough for them. It's pretty mucky, so that's going to be fun. And then we're just going to go around, reseal some of the vents, or all of the vents, and then we're going to touch up some of those pop-up nails that we saw. So all right, we're going to start with the blower, get rid of all the loose stuff on the upper. Soft spikes for them. That looks pretty good for up here. So we'll take our stuff down. Here's another nail pop. Get that nail back down. We'll dab a sealant on there. Okay, so let's run through. Let's get some of these resealed. There's really no need to nail the capping there. You can, if you're cutting the capping through the back and you know, you can just nail them through the back, and then as they heat up, they're going to naturally follow the shape of the roof. Okay, so that is pretty well done. We've done all our vents. I've done all the pop-ups that I've seen. I know there's a couple down here that were just off the ladder that I'm going to do. And then apart from that, we're pretty much done. Okay, let's see if we can do these front counter flashing nails. They just need a little bit of attention. You're not going to get a ton of blowing rain in here, but you will get a little bit. So if you're gonna nail them, instead of, you know, using roofing screws, or we'll use finishing nails, but if you're gonna use roofing nails, yeah, try your best and seal these up. Okay, let's go give the backyard and the side yard a little blow down. Okay guys, well, that is pretty much it. We've got the backyard, side yard all blown out, blown off. I'm just gonna get them a quick price for the gutter guards, and hopefully they'll be interested. All right guys, just pulling away from the customer's house. We had a nice little chat, went over everything, got her the quotes for the gutter guards, and she gave us some banana loaves. So that's a great way to end a Friday, if I do say so myself. So we're gonna go back home, drop the trailer off, just pulling up back to the house, drop this trailer off, and go see Miss Henna and the boys. All right guys, well, we are back home. For some reason my GoPro keeps shutting off even though it's at 20% battery. I don't know. These things are a little bit finicky. Anyways, trailer is dropped off, and that is pretty well the end of this video. We're gonna go say hi to Henna and the boys and enjoy the rest of our Fridays. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next one. Subscribe if you enjoyed the channel, and like the video if you enjoyed. Like I said, we really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And yeah, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Say hi to the peeps.
Hi peeps.
Hi peeps. Oh, the Mr. Kitty's sleeping. Hard at work, I see. Yeah, who's a good boy.